He's one of those musicians I am a musician. That's what I am. And he's from the church. You know, his mama is a pastor, and he plays at church, you know, and he's just a musician. This is what I do. If I put out an album, cool, you know, but this is just what he does, you know, and he's not a big fan of rushing anything, as you know. So
2025 seriously needs to end already. Every other week, it feels like another legend is gone. And now D'Angelo, too. Fans are losing it because his family revealed he'd been secretly battling cancer. But Erykah Badu isn't buying that story at all. She's calling it straight-up nonsense, claiming what really happened was a spiritual hit. That's right. Erykah's saying dark forces were involved. And here's where it gets even wilder. This isn't just Erykah throwing out random theories for attention. Apparently, D'Angelo himself confided in her before he passed. Sources are saying he told her directly that he'd been dealing with spiritual attacks, begging for her help and asking for spiritual protection. Erykah's always been deep into that energy and voodoo-type work. So if she's saying something felt off, maybe there's more to it than meets the eye.
And if I never get it, at least you heard it from me, because I don't know what they might do to keep from paying me all the money they owe me. I knew it was a spiritual attack on me. However, I was treated, and God healed me, cleared up.
Even more haunting, people are pointing out that D'Angelo reached out to her right around the same time Angie Stone mysteriously passed away. So what really went down here? Did D'Angelo somehow know he was next after Angie Stone's mysterious passing? Because the way things are lining up, it's starting to look way too eerie. His family had been tight-lipped for months about his pancreatic cancer diagnosis, keeping everything under wraps until his death was confirmed. Then, when the news finally broke, they dropped this emotional statement that left everyone in tears. It read, "The shining star of our family has dimmed his light for us in this life. After a prolonged and courageous battle with cancer, we are heartbroken to announce that Michael D'Angelo Archer, known to his fans around the world as D'Angelo, has been called home, departing this life today, October 14th, 2025. They went on to say, "We are saddened that he can only leave dear memories with his family, but we are eternally grateful for the legacy of extraordinarily moving music he leaves behind. We ask that you respect our privacy during this difficult time, but invite you all to join us in mourning his passing while also celebrating the gift of song that he has left for the world." You'd think people would just accept the family's statement and move on, right? Nope. Social media wasn't having any of that. The moment the post went up, confirming D'Angelo's cause of death as pancreatic cancer, fans flooded the comments accusing his family of hiding something. They're saying this story just doesn't add up, especially with how close his death came to Angie Stone's. It's been only 4 months since Angie passed, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about how strange her death was either. People are connecting the dots fast, and the timeline is looking way too coincidental. Before her death, Angie went online furious, calling out record labels for allegedly stealing millions from her and even accusing them of using voodoo to keep her quiet. She wasn't just venting. She said she had receipts and was ready to take them to court. Angie made it clear she wasn't backing down, saying she was going to drag every single one of them and sue them into the ground. But then, just like that, she was gone. A car accident, they said. What makes this whole situation even more chilling is what Angie herself said before she died. She didn't just hint. She flat out implied that what she was going through felt like a full-blown spiritual attack on her and her family. She believed dark forces were being sent her way, and the people behind it weren't just after her money, they wanted her gone for good. And here's the part that's got everyone's skin crawling. Angie seemed to know something was coming. Before her death, she ended her rant by warning her followers to keep an eye on certain people if anything ever happened to her. Like, who even says that unless they already feel a target on their back? She clearly knew what was coming. That's why she spoke out the way she did. And just days later, it all played out exactly how she feared. Angie was leaving a show around 4 a.m., driving home like she always did when tragedy struck. Her car crashed in what's being labeled a deadly accident. But people aren't buying that story, not for a second. Because let's be real, one thing about these powerful Hollywood circles is that once they feel threatened, they move fast. The moment someone starts talking too much or digging where they shouldn't, things start happening. Angie had been performing nonstop, living her life, staying busy, until she started questioning her missing money. Then suddenly, boom, she's gone. It's just too clean, too convenient. Reports say her car flipped several times, leaving her and part of her crew badly injured. But here's where it gets insane. Witnesses claim she didn't actually die from the crash itself. She was conscious and trying to climb out when, out of nowhere, a mysterious truck came speeding straight toward her and smashed into the wreckage again. That second hit is what took her life instantly. Now tell me that doesn't sound like a scene straight out of a hit job movie? A random truck showing up just in time to make sure she didn't make it out alive? Come on! This feels too orchestrated, too specific to be a coincidence. I'm not saying anything for sure, but if this doesn't raise eyebrows, I don't know what will. But that wasn't the only shady part about Angie's so-called accident. Out of the 8 people in that car, she was the only one who didn't make it out alive. How does that even happen? Fans instantly started calling foul play. And to this day, many still believe it was a setup, something planned and executed with precision. Especially since Angie herself warned everyone that if something happened to her, we'd know exactly who was behind it. Now, here's where things take a wild turn. Back to D'Angelo and Erykah Badu. Rumors are swirling that before her death, Angie reached out to D'Angelo personally. She allegedly told him that certain powerful figures were coming for her and she didn't want to be silenced without someone knowing the truth. Apparently, she even gave him names. It might sound unbelievable, but D'Angelo and Angie had history. They'd gone through rough patches but had already made peace for their son's sake. So her confiding in him? Totally possible. And word on the street says that once D'Angelo realized Angie's warnings were coming true, he freaked out. He supposedly went straight to Erykah, begging for spiritual protection because he believed whatever took Angie out was now coming for him too. And here's where things get downright eerie. Word is, after Angie's passing, D'Angelo started acting different. Close friends say he became paranoid, withdrawn, and constantly talked about shadows following him. He wasn't sleeping right, he stopped going out, and people close to him say he started burning sage and keeping crystals around like his life depended on it. Erykah Badu, who's deep into spiritual protection and energy work, was one of the few people he trusted enough to open up to. Sources say D'Angelo confessed to her that he was seeing things, hearing whispers that weren't there, feeling a heavy presence in his home. He allegedly told her straight up that he believed they were trying to drain his spirit before finishing him physically. Erykah supposedly tried to guide him through it, telling him to cleanse his aura, stay grounded, and protect his energy at all costs. But even she admitted that something about his situation felt off, as if he'd been spiritually marked. Then, things took an even darker turn. People who visited him in his final months said he'd sometimes stare blankly into space, saying stuff like, "They already took Angie, I'm next." He reportedly started preparing for the worst, writing notes, cutting contact with industry people, and spending hours meditating alone in silence. By the time the cancer rumors surfaced, fans believed it was all just a cover-up. Some even think whatever force Angie warned him about finally got to him, just in a different way. Because let's be real, 2 people connected by both love and secrets dying within months of each other? Sadly, whatever spiritual work Erykah tried to do just wasn't strong enough to protect him. According to insiders, she's been devastated ever since the news broke. People close to her say she blames herself, believing she could have done more to shield him from whatever dark energy was after him. She's reportedly been keeping quiet, but behind the scenes, she's completely heartbroken. Not only because she lost a friend, but because she and D'Angelo had history. Now this is where things get complicated. Around the same time he was involved with Angie Stone, Erykah and D'Angelo were rumored to have their own deep connection, one that went beyond music. They never confirmed they were together, but everyone saw the chemistry, especially after their sensual collaboration on Your Precious Love. That track had people convinced there was something more going on. Fans were shipping them hard back in the day, and honestly, they didn't do much to deny it. And if the rumors circling right now are even halfway true, Erykah might need to watch her back, because people are whispering that she could be next. Think about it. Two people tied to her spiritually and emotionally are gone within months of each other, both under strange circumstances. If there really was something dark chasing D'Angelo, who's to say it stopped with him? Then came the most heartbreaking part. D'Angelo and Angie's son, Michael Archer Jr., released a statement that had everyone in tears. He said, "It has been a very rough and sad year for me, but one thing that both of my parents taught me was to be strong." Can you imagine the pain of losing both your parents in less than a year? It's beyond tragic. He talked about how devastated he was, how it felt unreal waking up and realizing he'd never hear either of their voices again. The boy's grief struck a chord with fans everywhere, especially knowing the shady backstory behind both deaths. Angie dies after exposing industry corruption, and D'Angelo dies right after allegedly seeking spiritual help because he thought he'd be next. One fan wrote, "Losing both parents in the same year is wild. OMG." Another said, "This is heartbreaking. No parents left. I just hope their son stays strong and has real people around him." The internet's been flooded with love, grief, and disbelief, and honestly, who can blame them? Losing both Angie Stone and D'Angelo in the same year sounds like something straight out of a dark movie. But now I want to hear your thoughts. Do you really believe D'Angelo ran to Erykah for protection because he felt something coming for him? Or was this all just coincidence and tragic timing? Could the industry have played a part? Or is this just another conspiracy people are running with? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I need to know what side you're on with this one. And while you're at it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's been following this wild story too. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. See you in the next one.